You all have convened a couple days after we'll call it the incident, at the Deville residence. Debbie, you are feeling much better, having taken ample time to recover.
Oh,
and
heck
having
yeah.
3 people dote on you so heavily for feeling so guilty. And in the midst of your trying to decipher everything that you've learned and planning for your upcoming stakeout, there's a lot of tension in the air and a lot of questions as to what you're going to accomplish. So what are some of you feeling right now? I guess, Debbie, how has the recovery process been?
Oh, it's been okay. It was a little bit, pussy in some places I didn't expect, and but those are just weird, grown-up girl things. I think I'm not, it was fine. We're just fine.
Girl.
But I really don't have any clue what is going on right here, right now. But I have developed a need for Nutter Butters, I think once daily. Thank you to Hawk, who's reinvigorated my love for this tasty peanut buttery treat.
I do have to interject here and say that I love that not that I don't like the rest of you and your role playing ability and your characters, but I do like that every time I ask Debbie a question, it's like she's looking up in the sky and talking directly to me.
Yeah.
Explaining how things are going.
It's because she grew up praying,
Yeah,
She
of
knows
course,
how to
yes,
pray.
yes, that makes total.
In the Keeper rulebook, it says be a fan of your characters, specifically Debbie Deville.
After I talked to you, I just let out in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Austin.
Awesome.
Oh God.
All right, so that's how Debbie is. She's told me directly. Alex, how have you kind of centered yourself based on the previous sort of incident?
Well, I want to be a good hunter and also do the character voice, but I just feel like it doesn't call for it this time, and I'm so sorry to let you down, Austin.
No, it's not your fault. I should have ended with Debbie. That's my bad.
Yeah.
I'm always improving as your keeper, so I will get better. You just do what you're capable of.
While Alex wouldn't say this, inside of... Yeah, I'm going to just file that one away to cry about later tonight. While Alex wouldn't say this out loud, Alex is very introspective about what happened, how to go forward from that. I think of everybody who is doting on Debbie, Alex is doing it the absolute most, even more than her own son, just because Alex feels so incredibly guilty about their whole part in it. And Alex is kind of taken the moment to say, you know what, this is the last time somebody's going to get hurt on my watch, and I'm going to really take this guardian angel sort of role seriously from now on.
Can, Charlie and Alex be, competing to be the most comforting or doting on Debbie? He got you 3 Nutter Butters, I got you 13.
Yeah,
I literally bought all of these Nutter Butters for, okay, you know what, whatever.
Alex can paint my nails better than everyone else. He's real precise with his abilities, and everyone, all of you other guys, just get it all over the fleshy parts of my fingers. That's no good.
Yeah, Alex has painted your nails literally hundreds of times.
Yeah. The last time had ladybugs on them.
So Hawk, then, how are you taking this new information about your organization?
He's pretty pissed. Yeah, I think that's the initial reaction, right? Seeing this is first just this anger, followed by, of course, this questioning feeling. Pike must have had a good reason for it, or the government must have had a good reason for it. But why is this thing still around? I think, not during this time, but the next thing he's going to do is look into why this same thing that we're dealing with right now is still around in the aquarium. And of course, he's making excuses in his head maybe it's because they can't get rid of it yet. And keeping it at the aquarium is keeping it contained of some sort. But why would they not devote more resources to it if it's always in a public place? Why would they have not shut down the aquarium by now? Yada, 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 kind of going in, thinking about how he's going to confront Pike, and also just kind of angry that he didn't get more information when he was in the aquarium already, because he feels like there's no way he's getting back in a way that will be effective. You know, it's obvious that he was there last time, and he doesn't think he's going to get another chance. So like this weird conflicted feeling of he's really angry both at himself and at his organization, but at the same time, like, he doesn't want a sense of duty or loyalty to Ghostbusters to fade either. There's two halves of him that are yelling at each other all the time in his head.
Have you voiced any of that, or is this kind of just internal?
No, it's internal right now, like making sure Debbie is cool, making sure that Alex is cool, because as much as Alex would never voice it, it was very obvious that he was messed up. And Hawk has no idea how they would process this information, and therefore he doesn't know if Alex is better or not. Hawk has no frame of reference for how Alex is coping in this situation.
Oh yeah, I think it's fair to say that Alex does not hide it very well. Alex is totally shut down from everything, not vocalized, not peppy in any way, sort of form.
Charlie, have you thought about anything or done anything in the couple days that have followed other than try to make sure your mom's okay?
So we haven't learned about what Hawk has discovered.
Well, I don't know. Is that a conversation that you all would have had by now, or?
I would have had it with Charlie when I found it. I think that I wouldn't give Charlie the whole truth. Now that I'm, like, really thinking about it, I think what I would have told Charlie is that it seems like the first case was about this guy, Jeremy Michaels, who worked at the aquarium, and it looks like Annie Barnes covered it up. And just give that Annie Barnes did it. Yeah, I think that Hawk would keep, this is Ghostbusters business, and he's going to keep it Ghostbusters business. Annie Barnes, though, it's still a cover-up, still gets Charlie questioning it, but doesn't have him questioning Ghostbusters. And I don't think it's that Hawk wants Charlie to not worry about this organization. Hawk doesn't want Charlie to start questioning Hawk.
Oh, that's a good point, yeah. Okay, then yeah, that focus would be as to he's probably going over the aquarium in his head, okay, what door did I not open? What cabinet did I not open? What did I forget? What did I not check? And try to figure out, maybe use some of his, either his connections from school, from probably being part of some sort of programming group or some sort of thing. Okay, how can I use them, or some of his current degree, or some of his connections to potentially getting access to any sort of database that they have. Well, whether that's within his skills or not is to be determined, or if that's even possible, but he might not be thinking rationally right now.
In the wake of all this this huge influx of information, there's kind of an overload almost. But you've had a couple days to process. Debbie's feeling better. She's prayed. She's made it right with the Lord. And if the time has come that you all know that something has to be done, and something has to be done quickly, because if this is indeed sort of an inside job, then how far does it go? How deep does it go? And what's the final outcome? So with all that in mind, all these questions floating around, what does your plan of attack look like?
How long ago was the first case mentioned? The Jeremy Michaels thing?
About 3 weeks passed between patient or victim 0 and your involvement.
If that is the case, then there's still a body. Maybe. Hawk wants to find out if there's a body or not. Gonna take this file that I now have, and I'm gonna walk directly into Pike's office, and I'm gonna slam it down on the table. I'm gonna call him out on his shit, and then I'm gonna ask to see the body.
I think what we probably do is he probably talk to his gray hat hacker group and start talking as a hypothetical, what would we need to do in order to test securities at the aquarium database kind of thing, which is generally what a gray hat hacker group does.
So how are you planning on finding this channel or getting that ball rolling?
So when I first did research on the University of Washington, they actually have a Gray Hat hacker group called the Gray Hat Group, where they do this exact thing for like nonprofit kind of things. As like a group organized by the degree program that Charlie would be under.
Okay.
It is open to all students with an interest in testing security in public databases. Basically, like, if you want to see if, like, will we survive a DDoS, come talk to us, and we'll make sure you're okay.
Okay, well then let's do that. Let's tackle those different lines of thought. So let's start with you, Hawk.
Well, can't we also get Alex and Debbie and what they want to do?
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, I was gonna jump right in here, whether anybody
please.
asked me to or not. Okay. As Hawk is leaving, Alex just looks at him and says, "I'll be watching." And that's it.
Okay. All right then, Debbie.
Debbie is on her laptop, and she's going to order from Amazon the following things. 7 first aid kits, like, just different, like, kits that you'd probably, you know, like the little tiny ones, but 7 of them. Neosporin, like, 7 of those.
Is that not included in the first aid kit?
She needs extra. How many of us are there?
4, unless
Okay.
there's somebody I don't know about.
Okay, she's gonna order 4 scapulas off the internet. Now, when you order scapulas off the internet, they're still not blessed by a priest, so she has to do this. A scapula is this thing that you can wear around your necks. In the Catholic tradition, has like a little picture on both sides, and it's like made out of cloth. And if
So
you
you're
die,
not talking about shoulder bones.
no.
Yeah.
That's what I thought you were talking about.
Scapulas. And if you die while you're wearing a scapula, then you automatically go to heaven. So she believes in the Catholic tradition. So she's going to order 4 of those. And on her to-do list, she's like, go talk to Father Jimbo at St. Anthony.
That
Yeah.
can't be it.
And she's ordered some nail polish remover. And a magic bullet.
Wait, what?
Like the smoothie for making smoothies. Not for killing.
Oh!
All right. You will receive those things in 3 to 5 business days.
Oh, fantastic.
We have Prime!
Yeah, she's a Prime member. That's
Oh,
nice.
okay. All right, that's free. Free 2-day shipping. Sorry about that. All right, okay. So we all have a plan of attack. So who wants to kind of resolve their ish first?
Mine will be resolved as Hawk enters Commander Pike's office.
Right. Debbie's kind of just a waiting game. So let's do Charlie first. Charlie, you head over to the university, and in your research, uncovering that there is in fact a hacking organization that has a presence at the University of Washington. You know that their meetings are on Mondays.
Whoop! I think Charlie would be a part of this. I think as under his degree program, this probably be a common thing that most of people in his degree would do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at the next meeting, 12:30 rolls around, the time that they meet every Monday, that I am literally pulling from their website right now. Well, sorry, their last meeting was in 2015, so I don't know how regular this is. But in this universe, they meet every Monday. So you walk into the Gray Hat Hacker Group meeting, and 12:30 rolls around, and they start. And the president of the club for the year, whose name is Jameson Whiskey. His name is going to be Jaimes.
Whiskey.
So Jaimes, the president of the club, rolls up and says, All right, everyone, thanks for coming today. Just a quick recap. Last week, we went over some of the basic network scanning tools. We talked about NetScan and Nmap. We went over some stuff on Linux, so if anybody has any questions, we can still go over that. But today, does anybody have any problems they're having, anything they want to bring to the attention of the club before we get started?
I think this is the point where Charlie would raise his hand.
Oh, yeah, Charlie, what's up?
I got an email from a Dr. Annie Barnes, who works for the aquarium. She was wanting for us to test their security system. Apparently they are in possession of a bunch of sensitive information, and they would like to make sure it is secure. So they would like for us to test the security system.
Oh, that's awesome. How did you swing that? We haven't had a real project in so long. Okay, so what's the deal? Do they need on-site work? What supplies they need? Are we getting? Is there compensation? Like, what are we looking at here, Charlie?
Well, how I got the job is my mom has a friend who worked for the government apparently, and this friend needed a favor, so that's how he said, "Hey, I'll send you an email since you are part of this whole computer thing." He even put quotations around computer sort of thing. So that's how I got the thing. As opposed for compensation, I think we're going to get exposure. I mean, we haven't had a job for quite a while, so if we successfully pull this off, we might be able to get some more jobs in the future that will pay.
So now I'm going to have you roll to manipulate someone.
Oh, is that plus charm? Is that what this is?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hey. Oh, hey.
That is a 3.
Everybody loves a good 3.
That's a 3.
That's a failure. I think Charlie levels up now.
Okay, so we'll get to that in a second, so you have time to think. And I guess, like, going into the final encounter, we can talk about how you've prepared and give that, like, a narrative reason.
I already have exactly what I want. I'm already ready.
Well, then we'll certainly get to it. But currently, you have rolled 3. And Jaimes says, I don't know, Charlie. It just kind of seems a little suspect. I feel like I don't have all the information that we need. I feel like I need to talk to Annie directly to kind of get that set up and make sure we have all the information that we're working with. I'd probably need to do an on-site analysis of their system. Like we need to know what we're up against, right? So I mean,
I guess that's fair. I can talk to my mom and see if she can get me in contact with her friend, and maybe we can get something more official on the books to do this.
Do you have an email address? I'd love to get in touch with her directly.
Let me do some asking. Let me do some texting, and then Charlie pulls out his phone and starts to try to gather the information for him. And he texts Hawk immediately, like, "Can you forge an email address for me?"
Don't you have the email address that she sent you an email from originally? Didn't you say you got an email?
Not on this account. I forgot my password for it.
Charlie, you do computers and you forgot a password?
I'm not always the most rational person. I would love to see you work at 100% every day of your life.
Okay, there's no need for hostility. I just want the email address. This is a big deal, Charlie. You can't hold this.
I will get it to you by the end of the day.
Okay, all right. I guess. Well, until then, I guess we'll just wait.
Boy, does anybody else hate Jaimes? Because I hate Jaimes. He's a nosy little bitch.
To be fair, Charlie didn't do such a good job convincing him.
No, he did not.
No, I'm applauding your character development.
Let's cut over to Hawk then.
Hawk opens up the door without knocking, walks directly up to Pike's desk, puts the paper down in a way that Pike can read it, and then just looks Pike in the eye and says, "What the hell, man?"
Madison, would you excuse us, please? And the woman who had some kind of files that they were going over promptly packs up her files and shuffles out the door because she knows that something's about to happen that she's doesn't want to be around for and also doesn't have clearance. And she promptly shuts the door behind her.
Background. Alex would like to use some magic, please.
Okay.
There is an option in Use Magic that is Observe Another Place or Time. Alex would like to observe Pike's office.
Hell yes. Give me that roll. I love it.
Ooh, that is a 7, so it's a mixed success.
Okay. So you choose your effect, which is to observe another place or time, and a glitch. So what is the glitch?
I feel like maybe just the effect is weakened is the most logical one.
I like that, yeah. You channel this energy and you focus in on Hawk, and you're able to kind of get a sort of muffled picture. It's almost like you haven't quite got like the rabbit ears on the right setting to get the whole TV signal. So there's kind of like a little interference. It sounds muddled, almost like it's underwater. But you're able to kind of get the gist of what's happening.
Enough to like see if something is going dangerous or like hear aggravated tones.
But not to pick up on the specifics, right?
Got it.
Yeah. So you basically accomplish what you want, that if something goes wrong, you're going to be able to know. You're just not going to know. Yeah, exactly. Pike kind of leans back in his chair and says, "Listen, Hawk. I get it. I understand that you are frustrated.
Damn right I am.
Hawk, you have to understand there's factors at play here that...
Here's what you gotta understand, Pike. I've been loyal to you since before either of us worked for this organization. You and I, we served together, and I trust you with my life. And then you go sending me to solve this case without telling me that you already knew about it. Hell, you didn't even try to lie to me. There's only 3 reasons why you would not tell me this information. The first one is that you are incompetent and you just forgot that you knew about it, and I think both of us know that that ain't true. The second option is you just straight up don't trust me, which ain't exactly the best of the options either. Or the third one is you're sending me in to cover up something that you don't want leaked, and you weren't even honest about it. So the way I see it is that no matter what the excuse is, it's a bad one.
I want you to roll to manipulate somebody. And because you've sort of drawn up this past relationship and this long-standing history you have, I'm going to give you +1 forward on it.
That is plus charm. Add 1. A 9.
Is that with the additional 1?
That is with the additional 1.
Okay. So with a 9, he is going to give you the information that you want. He's going to come clean, but he's going to tell you what, if anything, it will take for him to do that. So Pike kind of rubs the bridge of his nose and sighs and says, "You're right, Hawk. You're right. Yeah, I had no business treating you like that, and I wish I could give you all the information that I have, but there's stuff going on that's beyond my pay grade even, and I needed you to go in blind, essentially, to find out what you could and not be swayed by everything that's happening. So I'll tell you what I know, Hawk, but you have to promise me one thing."
I'm listening, but I'm not gonna promise until you tell me.
I mean, one would assume you'd need to know what the promise was before you were gonna make... Look, Hawk...
Oh, I know some foolhardy people, but anyways, go ahead.
You have to promise me that you won't... You have to promise me that you won't react to what I tell you. I can't have you going off on your own. I can't have you disrupting the red tape. We're tied up in this, and I get it, but there's a lot of factors at play, and I need you to stay inside the lines on this one. Can you do that for me?
Hawk takes a beat and walks over to the... Pike has one of those cool offices with like a decanter of whiskey.
Oh, he for sure does. 100%.
Yeah, and so Hawk pours himself a drink. Of course, offers one to Pike. You know,
and he definitely takes it.
Yeah, he takes it, and then Hawk sits back down on the chair, crosses his leg, takes a sip.
Pike takes the drink from you, takes a sip, swirls it around, looks at you, and then in one fell swoop throws the rest of the drink back, slams the glass down on the desk, and says, "All right, Hawk. Dr. Annie Barnes made a discovery about a month ago. Something was going on with the aquatic life and causing abnormal reactions to things. The government thought, after observing the behavior exhibited by the fish and the aquatic life that seemed to be affected by this And honestly, and I'm the God honest truth here, Hawk, I have no idea exactly what we're dealing with. The energy, the presence, this is not like anything that we have ever seen in this organization. But whatever it was, we wanted to observe it. We wanted to see if it could be controlled. Weaponized. So, being the researcher that she was, we read Dr. Barnes into the situation and contracted her research team to get some more information on what was happening. About a month ago, she went rogue as far as we can tell. She stopped sending regular updates. Things got out of hand, and... Well, Hawk, you read the report. You know what happened. I needed you, an outside force, to get in there to discern what was happening. Because if I or anyone that she has worked with before gets involved, she's gonna know something's up. So the question is now, Hawk, what do you actually know?
Y'all fucked up real bad. Obviously.
Yeah,
I think we can get past that.
I feel like we've established that. Let's just, what else is there? And he reaches for the whiskey to pour himself another drink.
I know that I'm gonna need to see the body of that aquarium fella that bit the dust because it was, bitten by this weird energy. That's one thing I'm definitely gonna need to see. And I know that in the future, Pike, I'm going to need more transparency about this. And from there, Hawk's going to stand up, finish the drink. If you can get me access to that body or access back into the aquarium at any point, you let me know. Thanks for the drink. And then walks right out the door.
Pike catches you right before you leave and says, Hawk, one more thing. The original goal still stands. We have to know what this thing is, so I'm going to need you to bring it in.
Hawk doesn't necessarily answer that, but looks him in the eyes enough to make it seem like he's giving an answer, and then completes his exit.
All right.
From there, Hawk is going to go to his office, find something that he can break easily that's not that meaningful to him, throw it against the wall as hard as he possibly can, compose himself, grab a few grenades, and leave.
All right.
And he's gonna go check with Charlie, like go back to everybody else.
Yeah. So you all reconvene at the Deville residence and go scene.
Nice.
Oh.
So I know I tried to come up with like some like description, but I think it's just better. Like you come back with all this information. How clearly, like you have a lot to flesh out between all of you.
Oh, hi boys. I just brewed some tea, and I've got these little tea cookies here. It's the good kind. It's these vanilla wafers. They're organic, so nothing fishy in these. You don't have to worry a lick about being safe in here in Debbie's place. So here, sit down. I want to know everything. Tell me all about your day.
Hawk is so incredibly distracted at this point.
Hello.
Looking around.
Hey, Hawk. Hey.
I feel like Charlie's also just like poking at his plate with a fork, is just kind of like looking down, like clearly frustrated.
Alex just kind of looks around at both of them, looks from Hawk to Charlie, to Hawk to Charlie, and just goes, "Okay, I'll start. I saw a butterfly. It was very nice. It flew."
Oh, hey, Alex, I've been meaning to ask you about these scapulas I'm ordering. Can can you get those? Can you bless those? Like, are you anointed by God, kind of like the same way a priest is? Because I can drive up to Father Jimbo, and he can bless them, or maybe you can.
To Debbie's question of, is Alex anointed? Alex just summons the flaming sword and just holds it up in the air and screams.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, you know, I think that'll work. So, yeah, so I just Googled this, and it also says you've got to wear it habitually for it to work, and you've got to guard one's chastity. So I've got to know, fellas, have we all been chased within our... You know what? Look, you don't have to tell me.
I just
You don't...
I just like the mental picture of Debbie just like looking only at Charlie, even though asking it to everybody at the table.
You know, maybe it's best I don't know, but, you know, it says here on CatholicNewsAgency.com that you've got to guard your chastity, you know, and or at least, you know, probably just be safe. Probably just if you're safe, then it might work a little bit. You know how? Do we know how to be safe?
With a -1 charm and a -1 cool, I think it's safe to assume that Charlie has his chastity.
Oh, thank
And
God.
that's canon.
I mean, I'll also interject that Alex is androgynous, and I've kind of taken that to mean as not interested in, and also not even capable of being anything
Yeah,
but
I think
chaste.
I think that's a fair assessment.
Yeah.
Oh, well, hey, you know, Alex. So I just remembered that you don't even you got there's like nothing. So this is all new for you.
What the
Well, let me tell you, it's a crazy gift, is what it is.
Some say that the Ken doll was modeled after my people.
But you know, like gifts, we've got to guard it. It's precious, and you can't. You know what? We're good. I think we're done talking about that. So, Hawk, how was your day?
It's fine. Just... Nah, it's fine.
Oh, okay, good. Did you see a butterfly?
I don't know, maybe. Yeah? Wait, hold on.
Hey, you know, oh, okay, good. There's a dead bird outside.
Did you know that all butterflies are friends with each other?
Well, that's racist, I'm pretty sure.
Specious?
That's speciest.
It's true.
So, there's... Hawk, there's a dead bird outside. You want to come with me to figure out how we can bury it?
Yeah, sure. Like, whatever
Here.
you need.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you get the...
You got a shovel?
No, well, you get the gloves. You can touch it, and yeah, I'll handle the shovel.
Okay.
What is happening? I'm trying to stay quiet. What is happening?
Well, if no one's gonna talk, then Debbie's gonna keep going. So I open up the sliding glass door, and okay, it's right over here. So you sure you don't want to talk about your day? Sounds like you're a little stressed out.
You ever put so much trust into something, and then in just one fell swoop, it's just taken away? Like, you look at something or
Yeah.
someone with these ideals, and you go, I want to be that. And then something hits you, and you go, I don't anymore?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's you know, I liked my parents once. And then not so much. I still love them, but yeah. And then, you know, who I really trusted for a little bit anyway, was just between you and me, Charlie's dad. I trusted him so much that we made a baby. We sure did. We made little Charlie, and then he broke that trust real fast. And it's a very tough thing. I'm so sorry that you had to deal with that today.
Yeah, I am too.
I'm sorry that this dead bird is right here. But thank you for handling it. It was a cute little thing. I think it just hit its head. So look here. Here's the hole, which I just have been digging while I was talking to him. Here, let's put it right here, and we're gonna say a little prayer to the Blessed Virgin Mary.
After this moment, your phone beeps, and you check the message and see that you have a text from Commander Pike. It simply says, 10 p.m., Fort Morgue. And then a couple seconds later, you get another text that says, bring everyone.
I asked Debbie if she can take care of this, like, the rest of it, and, like, I go off and I make a few calls. I make a call to Wilson to make sure he stays after his shift is technically over, and also Nakoma Raymond, because she's been involved in this. I'm trusting her in this. I'm going to give a call to Larry LaFleur, for sure. And then probably by that time, Debbie's got that all filled up, and I enter the house, and I just let him know that we got somewhere to be at 10 o'clock. We're going to go look at that body, is what we're going to do. But I don't know if you should be there, Charlie. We don't know what this thing can do. It's this weird energy cloud that interacts with your brain waves, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even... What if you interact with this dead body? I mean, that'd be real cool to a certain extent, right? But my superiors are actually going to be here this time, and I just don't know what they would do.
I don't know if I want to be in that same room with everyone. Seeing as last time I was in the same room with everyone, he looks at Debbie. People were in the hospital for a few days.
If this was a TV show or an episode of a podcast, this would be a really depressing one, is what it would be.
Yeah, this would be quite sad. But you your troughs and your hills.
If you'd like, I'll still let you go to the fort. You just won't be in the same room as everybody else. You can just stay in my office. It's not a big deal.
If it's all the same to you, well, no, that's a good idea. I should be in the office. Okay, yeah, we can do that.
Alex, I will need you there. And honestly, Debbie, if you're feeling up to it, just hanging around Charlie, it's probably for the best.
Alex tries their best
Oh, yeah,
approximation of like a military salute.
Solid.
Alex stays in the salute.
Just until 10 p.m. when you guys meet up at the fort, or
Well,
what?
until we leave, yeah.
Okay. So I think it's a plan. So is everyone's on board to go to the fort at 10 p.m.?
Yeah?
Alrighty then. So you get to the fort after hours. Everyone is gone, save for Wilson and Nakoma and Dr. LaFleur, who are already kind of in the lobby area. And Pike is there to meet you at the door. There's a mission to be done, and there's no formalities, there's no red tape on this one. He knows that you're there to do what you're going to do, and so let's just do it. So he says, well, I guess that's everyone then.
Yeah, I gotta drop off these two at my office. They don't want to get close to the body, which is cool, but I'm just gonna make sure that they're all set up nice and neat.
Yeah, sure.
Make sure they got the stock of Nutter Butters with them and whatnot.
You gotta have
I can meet y'all down there if that's chill. If
Is
you
there
want
a
to get a
camera
head
we
start.
can watch from?
I have access to the security system. You can watch from the computer.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine. Okay, we'll just, You know what? We'll just wait. I'd rather everyone be there. So just
Okay.
take your time.
As we walk down the hall, luckily between the entrance and my office is Commander Pike's office. And I guess I'm kind of acting like I'm giving a tour here because for all intents and purposes to Pike, this is the first time Charlie's been in here.
Yeah.
And I'm making a little bit of a show of it, right? And like,
Okay.
so that over there's the med bay essentially, and here's where Wilson works. I know you haven't met Wilson, but he's the guy I'm talking about with the tech stuff. And that's Pike's office, and yada 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 yada. And then when we get into my office, I turn to Charlie and I ask him, "You ever copied a hard drive before?"
He gives Hawk a big smile.
When we go down to the basement to the morgue, I want you to go into Pike's office and I want you to copy his hard drive.
Yes, sir.
Ooh, I like this.
There's a mischievous twinkle in Charlie's eyes.
Now, Debbie, here's the computer, and I actually can't get you into the camera into the morgue. It just takes me a little bit, and I set it up, and then...
Oh, wait, you set up the computer for me?
Yeah, here, you can see the morgue. Charlie's going to be busy once we're downstairs.
Oh,
You can just tell
he's
him when we're downstairs.
copying the drive hard. Got
Yeah,
it.
he is. Now, please keep that under wraps.
Drive Hard was my favorite movie recently.
I don't know, I like the sequel, Drive Hard 2, Drive Harder.
Got it.
Look, there's a chance that he doesn't have it locked. There's a chance for that. There is also a chance that it is locked. And if it is, here's a key. You can go to the front office, and I tell him, like, where the master key is, that after you use this to get into the secretary's office, that he can find the master key. It'll even get him into Pike's office to where he can copy that hard drive and just do it quickly. And to make sure that you are back in my office by the time that we get back.
Okay.
And then I walk out and I meet up with everybody else and, clap my hands. Let's do this.
Alex has just been describing the butterfly to everybody that's there the whole time.
Oh, God, hey, Hawk, thank God. We're going right now. Let's go downstairs. All right.
And it had colors. Did I talk about the colors?
You sure did. Orange and yellow. Wowee. All right,
Good.
let's go. So you head down to autopsy and walk in, and it's a pretty standard, room. There's a couple different slabs in the middle for autopsying bodies. for performing of the autopsy, and there's some lockers on the far wall for bodies and stuff. Pike walks in and says, "All right, I have to warn you. Well, a couple things. First of all, none of this leaves this room and the confines of these people. Do you understand? Do you understand?"
All right, yeah.
Yes, and Tootie.
All right, chill.
All right. He goes over to a locker and pulls it out and he's like, "Hawk, would you give me a hand with this?"
I do that.
Okay, so with the two of you, put the body on the table and it's covered in a sheet, and so Pike
Okay.
slowly pulls back the sheet, and the body has been observed and well cleaned, as far as a dead body that's been dead for a while can be. But as he pulls back the sheet and reveals the torso, there are hundreds of teeth marks all along the body. And it looks like they're centered around the neck, around the left side of the chest. And as he pulls down the rest of the sheet, you can see that there's bites all over the legs and the ankles. Almost as if the bites were centered around these locations and coordinated. And Pike just says, "Jeremy Michaels here. He was attacked. And I think it goes without saying that it wasn't one it wasn't one monster that did this. Whatever's happening is affecting multiple creatures to the point that they are exhibiting simultaneous, synchronized behaviors.
I think Alex is getting, like, uncomfortably close to all the wounds and just trying to examine anything possible to
Like
get
nose
from
to
that.
skin?
You can see that Nakoma and Dr. LaFleur, for whatever, like, you know, their respective reasons, Nakoma being kind of the on-site doctor and medbay technician, and Larry being so interested in cryptids and research, they're also getting really close, whereas Wilson has almost recoiled and is, like, basically peeking out through the cracks in his fingers as his hands cover his eyes, and he's taken 3 steps back, and he's just super uncomfortable with everything because this is not his typical line of duty.
Because I want them sweet experience points, can I investigate a mystery?
I would love for you right
Ooh,
now to investigate
yes,
a mystery.
please.
This is a very good
Yeah,
opportunity for that.
I was gonna offer, but then I was like, damn it, Alex is already closer.
If I could mention that as soon as Charlie sees Commander Pike like in the camera view, he would start following Hawk's instructions.
We're going to resolve that in just a sec. Do not you worry. But Alex, first
Okay.
I want you to investigate a
Okay,
mystery.
roll plus sharp, here we go. That's an 8.
It's an 8. All right, so you get to hold 1. So you can ask one of the following questions. What happened here? What sort of creature is it? What can it do? What can hurt it? Where did it go? What was it going to do? Or what is being concealed here?
Yeah.
Maybe what is being concealed here? Maybe there's some thing that nobody has noticed on the body before that maybe I can find.
As you look over the body and think about everything that you already know, knowing that you had interactions with one affected creature, and there are definitely multiple of them, you start kind of looking for signs, seeing if there's anything else that you can pick out. And what you notice is not among all the bite marks that seem to be centrally located on the neck, the left side of the chest, the ankles. What you actually notice is a different kind of mark on the wrists that suggests to you, Alex, that Jeremy Michaels was bound.
Ooh. He was tied.
Pardon?
He was tied up. Look at his wrists. Did anybody talk about this? Look, there's bound marks on his wrist. He was tied up.
Everyone kind of shifts their gaze, and they're like, and Pike says, "Well, I'll be damned. This was not an accident. This was murder." And we'll cut over to Charlie. So Charlie, in order to copy this hard drive, I would like you to act under pressure.
Oh, okay. Oh no. Okay.
We have a very bad cool.
Very bad. Cool. He can't use his mind in order to. No. Oh.
Dude,
Fuck.
Would
quit
you
failing.
share
Yes.
some of the experience, please?
Wait. Is there something I can do? Hey, I don't think any of us have done this yet. Can I use luck?
Oh, he's doing it.
We can do it.
Hey.
This is something we can do. We've chosen not to. / we're too dumb to remember we
Right.
can. / Eric's the only one who's failed his roles, really,
Yeah.
in the grand scheme of
Yeah.
things.
Yes.
Okay, I will
Do
mark luck. So change the roll to a 12.
Cool. So you do what you set out to do. You get this ball rolling. You copy it. You've got it. And
He wipes the registry so there's no trace of what he's done.
exactly. So you get this. It's a lot easier than you thought it would be. But being hard lined in and having direct access to the machine is definitely a big boon in this situation. So you're able to copy everything effectively. And as you sort of leave and try not to leave any trace of what you were doing there, not just on the computer, but also in your physical movements through the office, making sure you didn't adjust anything or, or give yourself away. You head out of the office, you relock the door, and at once you feel this, like a tingle in the back of your head, and you get this urge that you need to go down to autopsy.
Charlie stops to Hawk's office, and without saying a word, just hands Debbie the hard drive and proceeds downstairs.
As you've had this realization, Alex, and everyone has kind of come to terms with the fact that this was a calculated attack, Charlie walks in, and everyone all at once turns to face him.
It's probably really spooky.
Yeah, we're all just staring at this.
This
like,
was a murder.
Well, Wilson, who is already freaked out and peering through his hands, goes, "Oh, Jesus!"
I need to be here. I need to be here.
Wait, whoa, hold on. And I walk towards Charlie before he gets near the body. How's your head feeling, man?
How is my head feeling? Am I feeling...
It's not a pain. It's not a pain. It's this sort of... It's really not like anything that you felt before. It's not akin to... You don't seem to be losing your wits. There's just this strong pull. Almost, it's just this intense nagging in your head that you have something to do here.
Mr. Hawkins, this is not like before. I'm not angry. I'm not in pain. I feel like there's a purpose for me to be here. What? I don't know, but maybe the Lord will guide me. He will be my shepherd.
Someone's been drinking Debbie's Kool-Aid pretty hard.
Really? You didn't say communion wine?
Hawk is going to put his hand on Charlie's shoulder and say, "All right, bud, but just give me 30 seconds, all right? Before you walk up to that, I want to be over there."
Okay. Do you want my pocket watch as well?
Yeah, for safekeep, but I hush, you know? I just kind of put my hand out, so it's a very casual exchange, not making a big deal out of it. And then I'm going to walk over to Gary.
I will say, as you kind of reach for the pocket watch, and Charlie, you go to give it to him, that same kind of feeling now is telling you that you need to hold on to it.
When Hawk goes to grab it, Charlie just looks at Hawk's eyes and just kind of gives him like a subtle little shake no. And mouths, "I can't."
Can or you won't.
I can't.
At this point, I'm just going to walk backwards for a little bit. I'll turn my head just slightly. Like, I'm trying to be as inconspicuous as possible that something might be going wrong. Maybe. And until I kind of like make eye contact with Alex, and then I nod my head a little, like the same signal that we've always done when it seems like something's going wrong with Charlie. As subtly as possible, I give that to Alex. I look up at the camera, and I beckon for Debbie.
Oh no!
Because I know which one she's looking for. I'm not trying to get Debbie in trouble. Debbie is your mother, right? Like
no.
I mean,
I like it. I like it as Eric. I'm just afraid for Charlie.
Until I get next to Gary, and then I just lean my head over casually and say, "So, you got any leads on this connection between, the monster and humans, I guess? Particular humans?"
Well, I have done some research, but Hawk, I gotta be honest, I haven't turned up much. The only thing I could think of, if it's not the same sort of energy or creature affecting Charlie, there's some connection. I'm sure of it. I to be honest, this is kind of unprecedented.
Nah, I feel you. And then I look at Charlie and I put my head towards the corpse, like, go for it.
Alright. Charlie approaches the corpse, pocket watch in hand.
Alex kind of got, like, you know, the gunslinger right before they have a shootout, and, like, the hand is kind of twitching. Just kind of twitching hand, ready for that sword if we need it.
So, Debbie, you come in and you enter the room as Charlie is making his approach, and kind of sensing that something's happening. Clearly, this is out of the wheelhouse of people like Nakoma and Wilson. They've kind of stepped back, definitely, but everyone else is kind of sensing that there's something weird going on. They have all almost made a space for Charlie to have this interaction. So, Hawk, you and Alex are definitely the closest to Charlie because you know the potential for something to go wrong, but everyone else is kind of cleared back because they know that something is not right. Charlie, as you make your approach, this tingling gets louder, and as you approach and get closer and closer, that tingling starts to be overtaken by a pain.
Okay.
And that same sort of energy that you felt when you first made contact with the monster and had that connection is starting to be there again.
Okay.
And it's starting to kind of take over and consume you to the point that you still have all your faculties and you have to decide, but you are rapidly, your condition is becoming worse and harder to control.
Charlie walks up to the body as his pain is overtaking him, and he kind of lays his hand on the forehead of Jeremy Michael. And as his pain's overtaking him, he's kind of looking around at Alex and Hawk and Debbie, and with this pain expression, Charlie's going to say no, and he's going to refuse the pain's beckoning.
So here's what I want you to do.
Oh, crap.
I would like you to roll plus weird because I want to treat this as you tuning in.
Okay. Please not be the one bad roll of the night.
The one? Every roll for you has been bad.
What
wow.
up? What?
All right, 13.
13. So, Charlie, you approach, and the pain, you're right, the pain is becoming overwhelming, and there's a huge tension in the air. Hawk, Alex especially, and Debbie, you can all really feel it. And then, all of a sudden, the three of you feel relaxed. Like this weight was lifted. Like, almost as if you can sense that Charlie is maintaining control. And Charlie, you see before you nothing. There's a white glow kind of surrounding you, and you can't really see anything. And then in front of you appears this shadowy figure that takes the form of Albert Core, the original tuna that you encountered.
Yeah, it's your boy, Original Tuna.
And the OT is kind of floating there with this energy sort of kind of swirling around it, and it looks like he's swimming in the middle of the air, and he's just kind of looking at you.
Okay, this time you're gonna do what I want. Where are you right now?
We are on the move, Charlie. The day of reckoning is coming. Soon we will be released, and we will exact our revenge. The bay is not safe.
What is the day of reckoning? What are you going to do with... What is the day of reckoning?
We were created to expand, adapt, to feast. We will do just that, Charlie. We will spread, first through the bay, then through the ocean, then across the world.
What do you want?
What we've always wanted, Charlie. We want you to join us.
Okay, and with that, I feel like that kind of scares Charlie out of it as he kind of like takes his ball fists and kind of like extends them out and like crosses them in front of his face, almost as like a getaway or like a wipe motion. And as he kind of wipes away, he comes back into the room.
The glow almost implodes, it sucks back in, and there's this almost flash, and all at once you are back in autopsy, Charlie. And everyone else can see that Charlie went from this state of almost zen-like calm to physically recoiling and kind of like getting his bearings. But for all intents and purposes, Charlie, you are back in the real world, and there is no feeling. There's nothing connecting you to this monster or any other existence other than the one that you're currently in.
It's moving. It can't get to the bay. If it gets to the bay, it's all over. Game over if it gets to the bay. Someone's moving it. And then Charlie looks at the body. I think whoever did this is moving it.
Oh, God.
You think it's
Damn it!
Annie? Is Annie moving it?
Hawk's already almost at the elevator, like ready to go back up.
Oh yeah, same with Alex.
Okay.
And if nobody else moves, he's just like, come on!
Okay.
Pike's not going to stop you from going, because he clearly understands that you're on a mission, and that's really what needs to be done, because things have kind of gotten out of hand. He says, Hawk, you be careful, okay? And you remember what I said.
Is Charlie know Wilson's the tech guy?
I did canonically mention it
Okay.
to
You did.
you
Cool.
You did.
while we were walking around.
Okay.
So,
Wilson,
yes.
find us the fastest route from the aquarium to the bay. And maybe someone put an APB out for Dr. Annie Bard's car.
Her license plate is BLT 6969.
Oh shit, that is canon, isn't it? Oh, I forgot about that. God damn. Wilson kind of snaps to and is like, okay, yeah. I'll go to my office.
Oh shit, he's a guy on the chair.
And so he kind of runs up, and Larry is almost taken aback at everything he's seen, but doesn't really show it. He's more of an observer anyway, and he kind of knows that it's not his place anymore, so he just kind of stays put. And Nakoma hesitates for a second and then runs after Wilson because she feels like she wants to help out, and she just, doesn't know how to help from where she is, so she's going to help be in the room with Wilson, talking you through everything.
One more thing, guys. The only way to get it to not go to the bay, or at least distract it for a moment, is to give it me.
Well,
wait, I'm sorry. Who are we giving you to?
Albert Core. The original tuna.
So, I just don't think that's fair, since
We're not giving Charlie
he
to
doesn't
anyone.
pay.
I'll make sure of it.
Okay, thanks, Alex, because this is absolutely absurd. I just will not stand for this.
I don't know what I can add to that, honestly. So, let's go kick some fish ass.
Go kick some fish ass.